Do you know sometimes some of y'all got pain and depression because you're running from God? You won't do what God say. You got your own plan. I don't want to be no prophet. I don't need to do this. And I don't want to do this. Okay. So that's why you in the valley of the pain you're in, because you're running from your assignment. Most prophets sometimes struggle with that because their assignment is always to go and clean up stuff. Oh, never mind. I know y'all in hiding. I'm going to let y'all hide today. It's okay. So some of you say, but prophetess, can I ask God why so much pain? Why I had to go through so much pain? Like, what is this? I've asked him, and he gave me some word, and I said, I remember this, Lord. I will keep it on the banner of my heart. You know, there is a cry to understand the heart that God has given me, and I've cried out to the Lord. I said, Lord, I don't understand. I said, I know these people, and sometimes that prophetic gift works whether you want it to work or not. You can't shut it down. Did I tell y'all that's another thing? You can't shut it down. It's not your thing. Oh, yeah. Even if you see it inside of yourself. Oh, my goodness. I said, Lord, why so much pain? And why did you give me the heart that you gave me? I don't understand. And sometimes I'll know they're doing crazy stuff. And the Lord said, don't. He said, let them go. He said, I'll deal with them. But 1 Peter 5:10 says, and after you have suffered a little while, the Lord, oh my God, a little while. Did y'all hear that little while? Yeah. After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, ooh, somebody should have heard that and grabbed it. All grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, this your system, restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. That was my story. That's what he gave me, that scripture. He said, that's your story. He said, after you suffer a little while. I remember one time I went through a 7-day thing. You know, when you go through a 7-year, I went through a 7-year thing that I couldn't pray out. I said, God, what is it? After you suffer a little while, a little while, do you understand? Just a little while. It's a little while. He said, glory in Christ will himself, not an angel, not the pastor, not nobody, himself will restore. Oh my God, that means he's going to make you better than what you was before. Oh my God. Then he says, I'm going to confirm you. What is confirm? I'm going to validate you. Oh my God. Then he says, I'm going to give you supernatural strength that they will know that I'm with you. Then I'll establish you and make your name great. Oh. Somebody should, 1 Peter 10:5. I don't know, when I got that, I was doing cartwheels in the house, flipping out. Do you hear me? See, when I read that, when you suffer a little bit. Well, sometimes I've lived on my pain. I didn't understand, but guess what? I preach it every week now. I watch people get healed. I watch people get restored. All because of the pain. Reflecting back, now I see and I discern and I ponder. See, I see that now. Ooh, but when I was going through that 7-year time, and I done had 2 7 years. I just want y'all to know that. Yeah, somebody playing, you complaining about a year or 2 years. No, I had 2 7-year separate times for different intricate things in my life. 2 of them. So what did I learn from that? I had the lack of the fullness of God. They told me I had everything once I just had speaking in tongues. So I thought I had everything. Okay, I don't know about you, but I thought I had everything. That's what they told me. You good, you got everything. I didn't have the fullness of him. That's why the pain could still reign, because I didn't, and he kept saying, he says, through the pain, I'm going to give you the fullness. The fullness is where I met him. The fullness is where I knew how to go and have encounters. I knew how to sit in his lap. I could wake up in the morning with downloads of books. See that prophetic war and decree book? 3 Sundays, that book was there. It was prophesied in the heavens. 3 Sundays, there go the book. Oh my goodness. The year after was a whole lot going on with the book, but that was the book. Lack of clarity for deeper spiritual things. That's why the pain. I needed a deeper understanding. See, some of y'all walking lightly in God, but the Lord wants to bring you to a greater place. There's a man. He has a black vest on and a white shirt. Lift your hands for me. See, you made for the greater places. They're not going to understand you. You're made for the greater places. God going to give you things and you're going to be able to make it go like this. Everything you touch going to turn big. That's when glory is upon someone. Don't look for them to understand you. Seek the greater things of God. I mean, press for it. Don't settle. Don't settle. You see great ministers doing great things. Say, God, I want to do that. I want you to use me like that. And then there's a personal thing the Lord's going to do through your life. There's some people going to be saved from your life, but there's one in particular you're going to save from death because of your life. The Lord said to tell you, I got a plan for you, and it's surely to come. And that's the word of the Lord. Let's give God some glory. I didn't have spiritual maturity. So I got revelation. I got some prophecies. I didn't know what half them prophecies meant. I left out the church the next day, thought about that maybe 1 month later. Don't even remember the prophecies anymore. You know why? Lack of spiritual maturity. See, I didn't even know to go on and jot down all of the prophecies, date them, and remember them, and go back and read over them so I could get wisdom. Didn't have the spiritual maturity. Lacked the wisdom. No, I had wisdom around me, but guess what? I wasn't receiving of it. Guess what? Because I was treating them like regular. I sure was. That's why I'm very sensitive to who's around me. Ask them. I'll cut you off in a second. I love you. Give you a gift. Don't come to my house. I will. You know why? See, when people get common, they can't receive from you. You miss the blessing. During my 7 years, the Lord showed me, he said, you became common. He said, and I was trying to get something to you. That's why that pain is racking inside of you, because you didn't go to the fullness so you could get the pain out of yourself. You won't have to be looking for deliverance services. You'll be the deliverer. But one of those 7 years, that's how I got some download during that 7 years. He also said I was unfinished. There was some unfinished emotional areas in my life. He said, that's why you flipping out certain times. I said, oh my God. He said, that's why they mention certain things, your voice get up like this. I said, whoa. He said, that's why if they mention a certain abuse, he said, because you could identify with it because the pain is still reaping. Oh my God. Now let me tell you the flip side to that. He left a sensitivity that in any one of my services, I can tell, my staff will be fussing at me and say, you stay too long with it, you stay too long. But you know what? The Lord gave me something called healing rooms. And see, whenever we'll dismiss everybody and I'll tell certain people to stay, like today, I'm going to tell all my mentees that are here today to stay. Because you know what? Let me say this. Somebody labored with me, but that pain was undercover. Do you hear? And that pain kept things from moving in my life. It made me live a lie that I did not know, because I thought just because I was anointed and sat on the front bench and got my word. But guess what? The pain was reaping down in here. And you know when you're anointed, they don't think you got no pain. Did y'all know that? Yeah. There's about 2 people who asked me, well, Prophetess, how are you doing? I said, well, thank you for asking. No, they don't ask, because you're supposed to be good. That's a part of that mantle. They expect you to be an ever-ready battery. Yeah, you're just supposed to be like a little ever-ready. You know the ever-ready battery? Y'all don't know the ever-ready battery? Oh, God. Are y'all? The batteries. Yeah. The Energizer Bunny. Oh, my God. Clean over their head. Because people want you to be ready to prophesy, and you should be. Because when you walk in that mantle, you should be. The word of the Lord should be able to gush right on out of your mouth. But when the pain is reaping, I'm not saying you're not anointed. Yes, you're called. Yes, you're anointed. But baby, you got some pain that needs to be addressed, or you're going to pass that pain on to other people. And that ain't right. It's not right. Also, he told me, he said those emotional areas needed to be addressed. The next thing he said, I had dysfunctional parents and I had that generational pain. Now, what you do with that one? Yeah. He said you have some pain that is in you is generational. It's not even yours. It was handed down. So guess what I did? I went on a 7-day fast and handed it right back to the devil. Not here. Because the words say it won't come to my door. You ain't got no right to my door, so I pass it right on back to the pit. Yeah, that's what you got to do. God can and will use pain as a deliverer. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and to them that are called according to his purpose. The power word is purpose. What's your purpose? Are you called to his purpose? So what if he decides to use your pain for his purpose? What if the reason why you're hurting right now is that you might understand that lady you're going to meet tomorrow, you got to know her pain. That's why I have the ability to be able to release the prophetic in people, and I can sense the gifts. You know what? I can sense their pain. I just not allowed to say it. Sometimes you can't even let them know you know. Oh, my goodness. So what if he wants to use you as a deliverer? Wait, prophetess, you don't know what I went through. You mean he won't use all that nasty stuff? You won't use all of that? Yes, all of that. That qualify you to be his. God can and will use you as a deliverer and use your pain. But do you know that pain puts snakes in your head? They make you believe everybody's got something after you. You distrust everything. Everything look like a demon. Everything look like they coming for you. They want something for you. You don't trust anybody. You don't even trust the man you're married to. Because the pain is still reaping. Spiritually, snakes represent vipers. Vipers are old wounds of revenge, guilt, shame, and unbelief. Oh, my goodness. Prophetess, you saying, I got a viper in me? Okay. Old wounds of revenge, guilt, shame, and unbelief. Anybody check the list? Any of that is in you? Do you know how to discern yourself? Let me prophetically teach you how to do that. Do you know how to go into the presence of God and be able to discern your own heart? Do you know when you begin to pray for your own heart, do you know you wake up that next morning, the Lord will bring that stuff on you? And he'll bring it right in your face. You'll get to the point, it'll harass you to the point, you couldn't wait to call your husband and say, baby, I'm so sorry. I did this. You'll get diarrhea of the mouth. You got to tell everything. Pray for God to show you your heart. Some of you are married, and that woman or that man don't even know half of your life because you got that pain stuck way deep down there. She's not privileged to it, or he's not privileged to it. So guess what? You don't know the fullness of marriage or the fullness of joy because you're allowing the pain to rule. Pain will bring forth revenge. Let that pain stay there long enough. Fresh revenge will come like it was done yesterday because that's why you're bruised. People will tell you, I said, wait a minute, you mean to tell me you've been planning this for all these months and all these years? I said, so you must have was a miserable person. Pain will do that. That's the reason why pain has to be removed. Pain allows you to put snakes in other people, appeasing your own pain. Prophetess, you mean, wait, you mean, yes, because your pain is a viper. And when you befriend someone, you put that viper right in that other person. That nice little innocent little person, sweet and nice. Guess what? Y'all friends, she began to think just like you. That's your viper goes in that person. And then that person's life go off because of your viper. Today we got to heal the pain. But there's some promises the Lord has given. Jeremiah 30 and 16 and 17. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them. Okay, so you want to know what prophet is, what you do with them? They after me. You need God. No. He says, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they shall spoil thee. Shall be, and they that spoil you will be, they gonna spoil. They gonna be spoiled. And all that prey upon thee, I will give them for prey. That's a promise. That's for you. Now you have to understand, Jeremiah wrote this book. It was intended for the Jews who was in Babylon and in captivity at that time. But God was still making promises to them. Next one is Jeremiah 30 and 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. That's your word. So you want to know how to get healing? You base it on the word. So what's your word today? I'm going to be healed from my pain based on Jeremiah 30 and 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, said the Lord, because they called thee an outcast. How many of y'all done been called an outcast? How many people done give up on you? Oh, yeah, they said you never was going to be nothing. You never was going to get married. You couldn't hold down a car. You couldn't keep a job. But he says, I will restore you. Now, during my healing process, I began to grab a hold to words like that. And I will repeat that thing to me over and over. Pain will cause you to hear, to can't hear. You hear, but you hear other voices. Now, if you're going to keep the pain in there, you'll hear the voice of the person who created the pain. That means you let them live in your life. That means you let them rule the anointing, the open door. You can't even receive love because that person is right there with you. Pain will wake you out of a delusion. Go on that pain, God will let that pain come, and that pain will get so to the point it'll be wrecking your life. Guess what? You'll have to come to a place to say, Lord, it's just too much. It's just too much. It'll wake you out of a delusion. I was in a deep delusion. You know what kind of delusion? Delusion of myself. I needed to come to truth with me. How many of you in here need to come to truth? Truth is the healer. That's the key. That is the key. Pain will cause you to see. See, whenever that you start having pain and you're in a delusion about somebody, all of a sudden the Lord will start making you really see this is not love. Love don't hurt. Pain can actually be used by God to cause you to literally obey him. He'll get you in a corner that you'll say, okay, no jobs coming through, money keeps going, this I don't understand, I'm ready to obey. Sometimes he'll say, well, when you're broken. But there is hope. Now, how do you deal with this pain? Colossians 1 and 27. To whom God will make known what is the riches of his glory, of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. He's your hope. I don't care what it looks like. He is your hope. You coming out of this. You're not staying in here. We're going to walk through this pain, stand it up against the wall, and tell it to shut up. Some of y'all letting that pain speak too loud. That's why you're on all those medicines. That's the reason why you got anxiety. You letting the pain speak. You got to shut it up. Well, prophetess, how do I shut it up? You use your authority. You use the word. You tell it you can't live here no more. You have no power. I will live. I will fulfill the fullness of my life. So let's walk through the walls of pain. So I began to thirst for spiritual things, and it began to open up my mind. I began to have the ability to see Then I got the ability to hear. Then I began to see how it was not affecting my life. I started seeing the healing process. When the healing process started coming, I saw miracles coming. I saw finances coming. I saw all of a sudden, it looked like, I said, oh my God, the Lord's lifting this thing off of my money because my heart was being healed. Discernment is powerful to pain because you got to be able to discern who's putting the pain in you, why you keeping it in there, and what the enemy is using it to move in your life. Again, I want to remind you that there's a PDF of the promises of God. They'll be able to help you to be able to hold on to the promises of God while you're walking through your pain. You just go to my website, prophetessmiranda.com, and then just go in there, and there's a form. It's free. It's a free ebook. And you can have that and walk through those promises of God. There'll be times that when you believe in God for healing and deliverance, you got to know how to work that word. Sometimes nothing will move the enemy but the word. Your pain is talking to you. So signs of the pain. There's physical pain to your body. It's talking to you. There's something wrong. It's trying to communicate. Emotional pain is the way that you want your way. You're in the same way. You got the same thinking. Your heart, you go straight to emotion. You don't go to spirit. Do you know when you walk in the spirit, immediately you should go say, God, what is this? But if you first go to the heart, oh, what they did to me, oh, what I feel. See, you're in your emotions. You got to go first straight to the spirit world and talk to you. But emotional pain won't let you do that. Spiritual pain is always much the same. See, you got to take this. See, spiritual pain, when you've been hurt in the church and you got church hurt and abuse, you don't like nobody in leadership from then time on. All of a sudden, they call you the bucker. You're not listening to nobody. Go, that little lady was some sweet. Wonder what happened. Spiritual pain. Because you have been betrayed. And when a person's been betrayed, the pain reaps, but it masks itself. Oh, my God. Trauma pain is still the same. That trauma pain will cry out. It will replay the things that has happened, but you are not your trauma. You are not your father's trauma. You are not your mother's trauma. You want to heal your children, you must get healed first. Now, let me tell you where I get that from. I got that from me. I said, Lord, what is this? He said, you want your children healed? He said, you must walk in healing. I said, I thought I was doing good. Apparently not. I had to dig deeper because I was surface level. Why are you in that? Why you might say, well, prophets, I'm in some relationships I shouldn't be. Why? Because you're trying to get somebody to fix your pain. You need them to fix you. Is it rejection? Because rejection gives birth to certain spirits. Trauma gives birth to certain spirits. Whenever trauma comes, perversion is going to be somewhere around there. Oh, we're going to network these spirits together. Lift your hands and say, Lord, heal me today. Bring me into freedom. I need deliverance today. Delusional pain is the pain that causes you to deny the abuse. You're going to deny it. Oh, it really wasn't that bad. Now, some of this stuff y'all going to need to help other people with. You use this wisdom and knowledge to help other people. Do you know there's a righteous pain for Christ's sake? If you are called of God, you're going to go through some pain. But do you know it's like a woman having a baby? She carrying that baby and waddling. She eating everything coming across the counter and everything else, right? But the minute she has that baby and go through that pain, oh my God, the smile on her face. Do you know she never remember the pain? All she remembers is the birth of the baby and how wonderful he is and she is. All of a sudden now she don't even think back there. She only think of her football player, her doctor, her preacher. That's all she sees. Because a little while, if you suffer just a little while, it's going to end. The spirits tell you it's not going to end. There's purpose in your pain. When you belong to the king, there's purpose in every pain that you went through. Prophetess, how can that be? Every pain, even the one that was so horrible and hurt, there's purpose in it. I promise you. All things work for good to them that love him. When you belong to the king, he's yours to do with what he wills. That's why some of y'all bucking the call. Well, prophetess, I don't want to really do all of that. I just really want to go to church and give a nice donation and help with the food and on Christmas and Thanksgiving. He says, no, I got more for you. He said, that's your plan, but not mine. But there are promises that the Lord has given you, and I want you to go to that PDF and hold on to that. But Jabez, you have to understand that, named by his mother after the pain of giving birth. He literally represents the pain of giving birth. That's what his name means. Naomi grieved of her losses. The Bible is swelled with people that went through pain, but they went through pain for purpose. Do not allow this pain to eat you up. Don't allow it to affect your body. Don't allow it to cause you to be drawn to abusive people just because you got this big pain thing on top of you. So everybody with pain is drawing to you. Watch who you draw. If you draw people with pain and the same problems and the same addictions, that's a problem. You're wearing, you draw what you are. Whew. Somebody needs to think about that. Come on, process it. What are you drawing? Are you drawing intercessors? Are you drawing anointings? What are you drawing? Wealth? Are you drawing poverty? Everybody you meet is addictive. Every woman you go to date is always a Jezebel or Delilah or Rahab. Which one? Come on. It's what you're wearing. So one day the Lord told me, he said, Miranda, you're drawing people to fix. He said, because the pain, you need to be fixed. I don't know how God talked to you all, but he make me deal with myself. No? I'm going to have to think about who y'all dealing with then. Like, what's the name of your God? we're going to have to talk about it. I love Esther because Esther had pain for purpose. She had a marriage for purpose. But one of her famous words, if I perish, I perish. She was an orphan, so she was acquainted with pain. She was raised by her uncle, right? Esther literally faced the evil of Haman. Now, come on, Haman was the evil of the evil. But Esther found favor with the king, and she had such favor, she was able to reverse that thing. I believe that in here we need to reverse some stuff. Some of y'all need to take your health back. Some of y'all need to take your families back. It's time to reverse these curses. They're not yours. They're not yours. I told you you have an heir. You're the heir to the king. You can have the throne. You can touch him. You're not a stepchild. Esther took actions despite her pain. Now, are you going to move because of your pain? Or are you going to let it lock you down? Today I decree you will be free. Oh, come on. Anybody need to forgive in here? You can start right now. That'll be the key because there's going to be a wave of glory getting ready to hit this place. But you got to be able to receive that. My. Just release them. You can leave it right here. Don't take it back to your house. Jeremiah was a weeping prophet. And he wept for the sins of God's people who wouldn't listen. There are times that you're going to have to weep for people and you're going to feel their pain. You're going to be witnessing, trying to get this guy to come out of that. And he's going to have to go butt his head. And then you're going to have to go right back. You're going to weep because you're going to see he's going right in rebellion. Do you know what that's like to be able to see your children go into rebellion? Oh my God. And they won't listen. They won't listen, and your heart just weep and weep. That's the way Jeremiah was. He loved God's people. God's ready to do it for you. See, Paul suffered greatly for Christ's sake. So what's your suffering for? Tell me what it's for. Is it your own suffering of disobedience? Or is it for Christ's sake? Is he setting you up to lay glory on you, to use you to go to the nation? You know God looking for the next person, right? Yes, he is. Come on, lift up your hand. Lord, thank you for my healing. Do a new thing in me. I'm ready. I'm ready for healing. Remove this pain. I need healing. And I receive it in Jesus' name. And so shall it be. This is your last recap of wisdom for dealing with your pain. The true reason for your pain, you need to be honest with yourself. Baby, if there's some pain that you got to, some of y'all don't want to be honest that mom just favored stuff and mom left some messes for you all. You got to be truthful. What is the source of your pain? Go find it. Who failed you? Could the source of your pain be because someone failed you? You don't have to keep the pain. It doesn't matter. If it was mama's, you don't have to keep the pain. You do not have to. What does the pain look like today? What does it look like today? Okay, I know it happened as a little boy, but what does it look like today? Is it in a grown man's suit, walking? Although it happened when you were 5 or 6. What does it look like today? What does it feel like? When you feel that pain, are you ready to rip anybody's head off? Baby, that's the pain talking. What does the pain look like or feel like? The brilliance of pain is that it can birth ministry to heal others. Now, that was my story. That was my story. Now, when I was walking through it, I got little nuggets, a couple of prophecies every so often, but most of it was a walk of clean faith. I just had to believe God. I had the ability to fast and get the monsters out the closet. You could starve demons. Did you know that? Yeah, there's some things that you could fast away. No, I'm trying to give somebody some nuggets. Somebody saying, Prophetess, tell me what I need to do. Some kind can only come out by prayer and fasting. What is these kind? What is that? What they look like? What do these kind look like? Spiritual charting, getting to the core. Anybody that really want to know what the bottom of the pain is, you can go on my website. I have something called discipline charts, and those charts help you to find the core of the pain. There's a video for it as well. It'll help you dig in there. You remember I told you earlier, I had them. Yeah, the first time I did them, I threw them against the wall. I said, well, that ain't me. That's not me. I went back and picked them up, and I forgot that I wrote the stuff on there. But when you're charting, you don't realize how much you've been through. I bet if somebody charts your life, you would not believe the pain that you have been through. You know why? Because we power women, we power men. We just deal with it and kick it off and go get the next big job, buy the next car. We just move on. But today the Lord wants you to be healed and delivered. Perfect love can come, but you got to get rid of the pain.
It's time to release war on the enemy. Prophetic War and Decrees by Prophetess Miranda. Available now. Visit prophetessmiranda.com to order today.